Good evening. It's Monday, 11 p.m. here in Champaign, Illinois. You're watching Call for Two. You are joining me, the three of you, according to YouTube, which is really basically just Jonathan Warner. You're joining me for our 16th playthrough of Etherfields, and that's how it goes. Whoever is joining on session 1, by the time we get a few sessions deep, we've whittled out all the, is that the right word? Whittle? Is that a right word? Whittle with a, you're whittling? You're whittling? Anyway, that's fine. I am completely enthralled with Etherfields by this point. I don't even think we're halfway through the campaign, maybe a third of the way through. I am very curious to see how it ends. Maybe more than any other campaign game I've played, this game is still delivering regularly new, interesting stuff. It has got that balance right, where I keep wanting to see what's going to be next. Let's check in with Jonathan, see how he's doing, and anyone else who may be joining us. We should say that over this last weekend, on Friday and Saturday, the channel played through A Case for New York Noir, written by Jonathan Warner, that was quite extraordinary. It still got me thinking about details of it and some great scenes, but also some struggles with the final questions. And it has left an impact on me. I hope Jonathan writes more cases. Now, while Jonathan is telling us what he's been up to, if he's had any thoughts. I'd love to hear what the experience was like having your case played on the channel. What did it make you nervous to watch us play it? I'll bet it was a little bit nerve-wracking when we spent the last hour struggling with those questions. All right, but back to Etherfields. Let's remind ourselves what happened in our last session. So we actually skipped a week. Last time we played was 2 weeks ago. And in the session from 2 weeks ago, we got considerably stronger. What we did was we discovered through some slumber this lucid mode, and I've got the cards for lucid mode right here. The game actually has you open up this secret box of cards, one for each character that can be played. We're playing the specialist, so we got access to our lucid mode deck. And in fact, we're still sort of in the process of going through our lucid mode. We're still in lucid mode. We've got 5 cards left in lucid mode. The lucid mode cards basically just pop on the top of your deck, so they give you a lot more energy, and all the cards are super powerful. They're very strong cards, so it's like a super powered up mode. And it costs 3 ether, if I'm remembering correctly, to go into this lucid mode. Where is our lucid mode card? So you spend 3 ether to go into lucid mode. You've got 20 cards, and you play them until you run out of them. Then you go back out of lucid mode. So it's very expensive in terms of 3 ether. But those cards are so strong that it makes me think maybe we're not going to want to go shopping anymore and just save our ether for that. We also happen to have some good luck, which is we got this slumber we had never seen before with this creature that was just dropping ether like coins in Super Mario Brothers when you punch the brick. And so we went into lucid mode to get powered up and then just milked that thing for as much ether as we could. And we do have a nice stack of ether now that if we don't go shopping, we could use to get ourselves into a couple more lucid dreaming states, and they felt very powerful. Then we went into a dream, one of my favorite dreams we've had so far, which was in the mansion, and there was a chest that had come alive, an anthropomorphic chest and an anthropomorphic, what was the other creature? A chest and a lantern. And we had to befriend one of them. We decided to befriend the chest, the locker, who we've already made friends with previously, so it made sense for us to pick the locker, which is over here. So we're now double friends with the locker. We need to remember to start bringing out our penguin, too. I mean, we've got these penguin cards. We've only seen the penguin a handful of times. We don't really even know what's the full assortment of kinds of cards the penguin has. What else? We discovered our last remaining Dream World map card, Phantasmagoria, and that's where we went. I don't know that we paid enough attention in our last session to the symbols. There aren't that many left for us to find. It almost looks like one of the green ones might match up with something on this map. Not quite, though. Almost, though. Let's keep our eyes open for these symbols, though. Take a good look at them. We've got a cityscape, looks like an eye, a rear view mirror of space, maybe a grandfather clock, a radiator, some tile floor pattern, This looks like some green underwater algae. Maybe a newspaper. So let's see if we can't find some more of those. In our last mission, we also did so well that we unlocked the Season of Secret Paths. And apparently, no penalty going through shortcuts this whole mission, which is pretty huge, because if you travel by shortcuts, you can really go all over the place. We also got a bunch of new dreams. We played a couple of games, a couple of sessions where we didn't get any new dreams, and then yesterday, or not yesterday, our last session, we got a whole bunch of new ones. Before we go through and pick what dream we're going to play, we should also say we have no cards in hand, but we do have 5 built progress cards. We still can build one more because of our special builder card that lets us hold 6. We're playing with the Mask of Devotion, which increases our hand size by 2. I think it's remarkable that there are like a dozen masks and we've never had the opportunity to change out. Like, we've played this whole campaign with this mask, which seems amazing, but aren't you curious about what the other masks are? This almost seems like each mask is going to be completely game breaking. We do have a big tranche of sealed cards, though. It'd be nice to get those out before our next dream if we can. We have our Delta button we still haven't pressed. What else? Bunch of blue gems, and we have, maybe this is important, we have 2 keys already left over from our last thing. So unlike most sessions, we don't strictly need to gather keys. I think maybe 1 or 2, depending on what dream we want to go in. There was one dream that Ghost Drive was trying to get us to go to, and that was, I think, this one, Return to the Sunshine Days, or no, these are returned. These are ones we can't go to, right? 6 silver keys. We think that's the end of the campaign. We have 1 silver key. So I think these are new dreams we got last session. And maybe this is the one that Ghost Drive wanted us to go to. No, I think it was... I thought he wanted us to go to one that seemed happier. No, these are the return to. Was it Return to Sunshine Days? Or was it this one he wanted us to go to? Maybe this is the one he was suggesting. I think this is the one he was suggesting. But we can go wherever we want. We're so powered up that I almost wonder if we shouldn't go to someplace dangerous. But maybe that's this. All right, let's read what Jonathan said. It was fun to watch you all play it. When it's your case, it makes you less inclined to want the group to take a break and split it among 2 streams. I sort of had the impression when you got to the questions that you all hadn't gotten on my wavelength for the solution. No, we definitely hadn't. So I was more just worried about a buildup of frustration on your part than mine. It's too bad we didn't get your aha moment on film. It came between streams, but good job figuring out. Yes, I did have a little aha moment, but we had a couple of good ones during that game. There were a couple of times when things finally clicked. It was pretty great. Okay, happiness preserved. Well, let's take a look at what we've got available to us. Here's happiness preserved. I'm not opposed to doing that. We'd have to gather 2 more keys. But you could argue that now that we're in this season where shortcuts don't hurt us, maybe this is a good time to go gather keys. Because you can basically jump between gates and just slumber and gather keys, but we would have to have 2 slumbers if we wanted to gather 2 more keys, but that's not a bad idea. Maybe we could figure out how to unseal some cards. I mean, being able to travel by shortcuts is pretty huge. Travel by shortcuts without paying any cost is pretty huge. We've got 4 dreams that are return dreams. Return to the Eternal City. Return to the Foggy Docks. Return to the Endless Basement. That's probably the return that I'm more interested in. Return to the Train Yard. And then we've got a ship discovered in the basement that I'm curious about. Hard work in the Dreams Factory. I don't know anything about that one. A clock that went back. Some special rules. And then here is another return. Maybe I should put these with the return. So all the returns mean we're going back into dreams we've already had. So shall we do this one? I guess we should probably do this one. It sounded like Ghost Drive thought that this one was going to give us some benefits. I feel like we've been swimming in benefits, so hopefully it won't be... It'll give us a little bit of a challenge. All right, so it's in Echo, and we need 4 keys, but it only lets us unseal 1 card or cure 1 distress, which we have 1 distress. So it'd be kind of nice to be able to unseal some cards before we get in here. Echo, huh? Let's see. How would we get to Echo? We're in Phantasmagoria. Echo is here. So we could go here and get a key, here and get a key, and then go into that dream. I mean, we could go in there. That would be the simplest way to do it. Now, I will say this. We have to remember about shopping. So even if we wanted to save our ether and not spend it on shopping, going shopping still has an advantage in that if we don't buy anything, we get a blue gem instead. But I don't know if it's worth trying to go shopping. We also have these sanctuaries where we can heal up a little. Do we remember how sanctuaries work? Sanctuary lets us unseal 1 chosen card or restore an item, and we don't have any items yet, so that would be kind of nice to do. But it's a little bit of effort to get to the sanctuaries. Is there any special place where we could unseal? Not really. Draw 2 cards if we come down here. I think maybe what we do is we go have a slumber here without getting fate. That would make life more difficult for us. And then maybe we consider, although it would be a nice sanctuary, would cause a couple of fate cards to come out though. Depends how dangerous the fate is for us. If we want to risk it. And sort of depends if we want to go shopping. Why am I not looking at the screen? I should be looking at the screen. Any thoughts? Shall we just go straight for the dream and not worry about this sanctuary stuff? Most of the fate cards just make a slumber harder or easier. All right, let's just go straight for the dream. So we're going to take the shortcut, which would normally seal a card, but we don't have to because we're in the season of secret paths. We're going to choose to get a key here, our third of 4 keys. Maybe I'll put them right here. And now we have to have a slumber. And let's see what slumber we get. The Dream Monger. Okay, so we've had the Dream Monger before, so we are not forced to do it if we don't want to. This happens to be a slumber that has no penalty. It just lets us buy influence cards if we want. So we should probably do this because this is a potential way for us to look at some influence cards and see if we want them. So I guess we'll do this, although if we're sure we're not going to buy, well, we're probably not going to buy them, but let's just go ahead and bring it out. Since it's a nice small slumber map, it should be possible for us to get to this guy fairly easily. So that's where we start. And the Dream Monger, which is supposed to be the masked man, but we'll just pick something else to use that's a little more colorful. And we'll put him here. We've got 2 turns. And he doesn't hurt you. It's just you have 2 turns to contact him and buy influence cards. There's our 2 turns. Normally he doesn't move at all, so we just have to go get to him. Now, one unfortunate thing, fortunate or unfortunate, is we're going to end up using all our lucid power on this guy. But all right, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our hand of 4. But maybe it'll help us build up for our next round. Let's see, what do we get? Toxic Cloud lets us poison enemies. I'm not sure we saw these last time, but lots of nice movement. Outer Light lets us light up a tile, and Enhancement. Look at this. Enhancement lets us put 2 charges on our progress cards. So we should definitely take advantage of this to put more bullets on our shotgun, which is very powerful. So let's do this on turn 2. If it's heart, even better. If it's not, we will do it before then. So we just need to move over there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, we don't even have to be within 4. However, we're not going to have enough green to do it on this turn, but that's all right. We'll spend these to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't really have to be standing on his space, but that's okay. These only have one green, so we're probably not going to want to use those anyway. For the green, I mean. Okay, that's the end of our turn. He would now move and then do his basic effects, which there are none. All right, next turn. It is a heart. That's great. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our 4 cards. 6 movement. All right, let's not forget we have gems. So we're going to use this to put 3 charges on our shotgun. We're for a total of 6 charges now, which is pretty great. That really helps us fight back. And that was that card. We do have another progress card. It's our assistant. This would be a good card to bring out as prep. However, it is 2 green. And it costs green to bring it out, which is what we need to trigger his contact. So I think probably we may not use that. We also have this progress card, which we've never used yet. It's so expensive, but it is kind of fun. I think probably we'll try to get this placed at some point, but maybe not yet. So let's do a 6 contact. We'll use 2. Can add a turn. We could use this to give us 2 more turns in this slumber. But I don't know if it's worth going through all these cards again. I don't really think it is. So I'm going to use this for 2, this for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't need 7, so let's hold on to this one. I don't think we need these cards. Discard a morphing. That's kind of nice, actually. I wonder if we want to hold on to that. No, let's just use these 6 to have a contact, which lets us buy influence cards. So we're going to go influence card shopping. Now, I have added influence cards to the top here from a mission. I don't know if we're supposed to shuffle these or not. It's going to shuffle them a little bit in the top. That way some of the ones we got will stay near the top. Okay, let's cut the deck. All right, so 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. And now let's see if we want to buy any of these. We're not going to get a side benefit if we don't buy them. And the ether, I mean, it's hard to justify buying 1 card for 2 ether when 3 ether gets us into Dream. But some of these can be pretty fun. So this one is 1 ether. It's cheap, but it's not such a great card. So I think no, not this one. But this is totally new to us. What is this? A 2 green. I felt like we've been short on green, so this is tempting. You can draw 2 cards. If it's a clover suit, you can draw 4 cards. I mean, that's not bad, especially when we've got such a big hand size. That's a pretty good card for us. And green, I feel like we've been lacking green. So that is tempting. I don't think, if you think about it efficiency-wise, it doesn't make sense to ever go shopping again. Like, surely those 2 ether are better spent in lucid mode. But if we're looking to have fun rather than just be overpowered, I still think we might want to buy this. And then now or never, I believe we have one of these already. I don't think this is worth it. It's kind of useful. We have made good use of it, but it's a little bit of a weird card. We have made good use of it, but we already have it. And I think now we're playing for interest. All right, so we're not going to take these 2. But now, do we want this one for fun? Do we want this one for fun for 2 ether? I mean, we can afford it. It's not efficient. Lucid mode is more efficient, but it is kind of fun. It's a 2 green and 2 cards. Hmm. I'm not sure. Jonathan, any thoughts? I'm neutral, says Jonathan. I guess it depends whether we think we're going to go shopping. We're not really that close to any shopping cards, but it's sort of a shame not to go shopping. It's hard to make yourself pull the trigger when it's not efficient. It's easy to say, let's do this for fun. It's not so easy to do it. Let's buy it. It's kind of a fun card. I'm going to spend 2 ether to buy it. Maybe we're going to have to make some house rule to give ourselves a discount. Otherwise, we're never going to go shopping. All right, so taking that card, I'm putting it on our discard. We should remember, it's not just the power of the card, it's a little more energy too. You could argue that we should have extended our turns here and just gone shopping a whole bunch of times for 6 green. But let's not push it. We're here for fun too. All right, so the turn has ended. The slumber is over. The dream slumber ends. The dream monger is gone. And we are, it's not the right card. Okay, and it's time for this guy to go on the bottom. This to go here. Influence card deck is done. Let's bring this back up and continue on our way. Now, did we want to go shopping? if we wanted to go shopping, we come down here, get a key, go shopping. But then we've got a whole bunch of gates. Seems kind of pointless. I guess we're going to skip shopping, even though it can get us blue gems. We're just going to take a shortcut all the way here and have another slumber. And get a fourth key, which is the key that we need to go in to the dream. So there's our fourth key, and let's see what slumber we draw. The librarian. Have we done the librarian before? That's the question. Have we done the librarian before? I feel like we have, but am I wrong? Out of turn. So this is another thing where you just have to survive 4 turns. I feel like we've done this, haven't we, Jonathan? Jonathan says that we haven't. Well, you know the deal. If we haven't done it, then we've got to do it. All right, well, that's the rule. If we haven't done it, we've got to do it. So let's put this up here. Now this one, it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be harder or easier yet, depending on the size of the slumber. So we allow ourselves to skip the slumbers if we've done them before, but we haven't. So, and we're supposed to start where we left off, which is right in that space where the librarian is. All right, that'll be our librarian. All right, let's understand how this works. 4 turns, we have to survive 4 turns. I mean, we did fight the librarian, which had similar mechanics, but Jonathan thinks we didn't do it in a slumber. Okay. 4 turns. This would have been a nice time to have that card that allowed us to get rid of turns. Maybe I should have held on to that. Okay, 4 turns. Our first turn is going to move and then red. All right, the only way we can end this is if we survive 4 turns. We can assault the librarian to move it to a red space, but there is only one space on this whole, only one red space on this whole map. So this is a very small map to deal with this guy, this woman. We can do a 6 green contact, which discards a darkness tile. If we're in darkness, we have to seal 3 cards when she triggers red. So we need to be out of darkness, or we need to light up the room somehow. We don't have any ability to do that now. We used to have a card. Morphing in range 1. This is going to be difficult. As soon as she triggers, she's going to get very close to us. For now, however, all we need to do is walk over to one of these 2 spaces and we'll be safe from her. All right, well, let's get our 4 cards. We're going to need to reshuffle here. I'm going to take a distress for that. I don't want to seal up any more cards. 4 turns. I really wish I had that card that would let us. Okay, looks like we've got some lucid cards in the discard that I didn't properly segregate. Lucid cards, remember, don't get reshuffled. They just get put into the lucid pile. Would be a nice time to get that locker out and try to use it to get some items. Maybe we could even get our flashlight. Cards are really stiff. Okay, so I took the distress, I shuffled the deck, 2, 3, 4. Here's our hand. We've got a hand size of 9 when you consider everything. Stare, move an entity, move the direction, poison an entity, bring out the locker, seal the card to draw up to our hand limit. I don't really care about any of that. We just want to get far away. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'd like a movement of 4. Stairs. Does stairs help us? It would let us go from here to here. But that's darkness. Just as easy for us to walk over there. I mean, moving the entity will be useful to us. And poison an entity. Do we still have the power to add a charge? We do. We do. We could discard the top 3 cards to put a charge or gain a gem. At this point, with 6 charges, I'm not sure we need any more charges, although I guess that's pretty useful. All right, let's discard 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. And let's put a charge. Why not? Like, let's have this shotgun forever. It's doing like 3 damage per. All right, I'm going to add another charge to that. 7 charges. That's a lot of charges. And that's there. All right, we just have to move 4, huh? Do you remember what poison is? Where is our... Do we have a poison? Stunned, paralyzed, poisoned. What does poison do? No new morphing until this dream ends. That's huge. This card is hugely useful. To stop morphings? That's amazing. Okay, let's hold on to this card then. Let's just get ourselves to where we're safe. So 4 yellow, but we're not going to spend that. Move it, we'd like to spend it. Okay, I'm going to spend stairs and a blue gem. Actually, we could spend stairs and use any card to move. I don't think we're going to be using this card, so let's do it that way. we're gonna use these cards to move one, and then use the stairs to go here, and then move another one here. Just because we don't need these cards for this mission. Okay, and then that's the... And then, you know what? We're gonna build this out. Are we gonna build this out? I think we are gonna build this out. Just for the fun of it. All right, I'll just keep it in my hand for now. I'm ending that turn, and then the librarian is going to move its normal space, which is 1, 2. And then it does red. If we're in darkness, we would seal 3 cards, and now we discard all lightness, which is done. Here's our next turn. Is there a limit on the markers we're supposed to be using for charges? I'm not sure there really is a limit. I mean, these generic markers, it looks like there's like 8 of them. So I don't think there really is a limit. All right, let's look at this. Basic action is if you're in range 1, we would, or in darkness, we would seal a card. Then he moves, and if we're in range 1, we'd seal a card. So we're not going to get hit by this. But then this person is going to move on top of us and then make us steal 2 cards. Unless we can push it back, but we can push it back. So this isn't going to be that hard for us. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's draw our 4 cards. We've got some fun stuff. Here's our motivation to draw more cards. Throw anything. We don't care about that. Closet is in darkness at any time. Even when the entity is coming at us, we would roll that. So that's pretty good. Here we can restore an item if we are on water or mud. The entity is not going to morph, so we don't need to stop morphing. And we're on lightness. We'd like to stay here, so I think this is what we're going to do. We're just going to assault this thing to move it 2 spaces here so that it won't be able to reach us. We've got a shotgun. We just have to hit it for 6. That would be 2 charges. Because each charge is 1 plus the number of yellow progress cards. So each charge does 3 damage. And its range is 3, even with the shotgun, even without very long arms. So we're now within range. We can spend 2, but if we could... I mean, here's 1. That would be 4, 5, 6. Rather than using 2 charges, I think it might be... Well, maybe we should use the charges while we got them. Because the blue gems can be used for charges. So do we not need that? All right, let's just do 6 damage right here. But we're going to not have to draw cards. But maybe that's good. We don't want to draw cards if we don't have to. All right, I'm going to go ahead and generate 6 assault from 6 charges, from 2 charges, to knock the librarian back here, so that when she moves, she doesn't get within range. Although, actually, to make this more powerful, maybe I should use only 2 gems left. I'll tell you what, I'm going to only use 1 charge, and then I'm going to generate 3 more with this. 1, 2, 3. All right, that is 6. Have I lost it again? Okay, that's 6 assault. Moves the librarian back here. We're going to end our turn. Basic action, range 1 or in darkness, we would seal, and then she's going to move. She moves 2, 1, 2. She's not in range, so nothing happens. I've survived half of it. Okay, what's next? Basic effect, she's not in range. Red effect, we're not in darkness, and then she moves. So we could end the turn right here and we'd be safe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We might as well draw up to our hand. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. That's 6 plus 2 plus 1. We might as well get ourselves strong. Here's our assistant we could bring out. Not much use in that, though, but maybe we bring out our walker. What is this card? Stun an entity, or return this card to the influence market to stun all entities. So, stunning, what does stun an entity do? Stunned is no distress effects. This creature doesn't even have distress effects, so that's useless to us. But we don't have to do anything. This whole turn, she can't do anything but get over to us. So we're just going to stop here unless we want to bring this out. Shall we bring this out for fun? What is the... let's look at this for a second. Isara has joined us. Very nice to see you, Isara. So I get this part, place it for 2, but this is normally the cost, 2 gems. I see. So it costs us 2 gems to bring out the locker. And then additionally, we have to spend to move it. And then additionally, in a diamond turn, we have to spend another gem to restore an item. So it costs us 3 gems to restore an item? But I guess the idea is you would keep doing it, huh? Like, the first item costs you 3 gems, but every other item costs you just 1 more gem. So you would only do this when you had, like, 5 blue gems, and then you would use it to bring out 3 separate items. Boy, that is rough. I don't see how we're ever going to use this card. It just seems so wasteful. All right, well, let's just stop our turn here. The only thing we're going to need to do is be able to knock this one back again at the start of the next turn. So I'm going to end my turn here. This triggers. We're not within range. We're not in darkness. Then this triggers. We're not in darkness. Then she moves. Okay, 2 spaces. That's the end of that turn. Here's the last turn. We just have to survive this turn. Okay, well, this is a pretty bad combination here. She could morph, which could extend her range or movement. But as long as we knock her back here, we're in pretty good shape. So let's go ahead and knock her back there. So we need 6 assault to knock her back. I mean, we could just use this to do it. We do have enough blue to re-roll so that we wouldn't have to... We could avoid returning this card since it's so powerful. But I'd be inclined to keep this till we really needed to avoid morphings. Like, this is not a situation. Like, I want to hold on to this card for every dream, because if you could poison and keep them from morphing, that's amazing. So we should never use that just for assault. It's just weird that we have so little assault, but okay, let's just do that. I guess we're gonna spend the shotgun, that's 3, and then I really don't see us ever using this, but let's go ahead and do 4, 5, 6. There's our 6 assault. Although discard an item to do a chosen one, that's pretty good. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna not bring out this locker anytime soon. So I'm gonna use this for our red. And we will use this thing. We will use something else to bring out an item. I thought there was another card we had to bring out an item. Yes, it was this, but we're not in that space. All right, let me just do this. That's 6. That knocks the librarian back here, and I think that's all we need to do. I don't think she's going to be able to hurt us here. All right, so we're going to end our turn here. No need to do any more prep, I don't think. Okay, let's see what the morphing is. No blue gems, that's fine. We don't care about that. All right, now she moves. She moves her normal movement, 2 spaces. Now, if we were within range or in darkness, we would seal cards. We're not. That ends the turn. We've now survived 4 turns. That means we've got victory. Cure a distress. And the slumber ends. And we gain loot. I see. Look what our loot is on our final turn. An ether. All right, so that worked out fairly well for us. That's the librarian done. And next time we see the librarian, we don't have to fight it. We could have, no deliverance on the librarian. So we couldn't even deliverance if we wanted to. And yes, she does have candles on her head. All right, and I suppose we should remember that we're here. All right, that was our powers let us handle that pretty smoothly. Librarian is done, and we've got enough keys that we can now go into our dream. So we are here. We could go straight into our dream, or if we wanted to, we could fate, and then go in our dream. But sanctuary, that would let us heal up. It sort of depends whether you think this fate could hurt us. Like normally the fates only affect your slumbers, and this path is not going to have us entering a slumber. So it's a little bit tempting to push our luck and do that. Do you remember, are there any fates that are dangerous to us even if we're not going to slumber? Jonathan says, just go into the dream. Stop messing around. All right, we're going to go straight into the dream. So we're on Echo. I mean, we never go to sanctuaries. What would I do in a sanctuary? We could restore an item. I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna walk through the fates. I'm gonna push our luck a little bit. I think the fates are not going to hurt us, because I think they're only going to affect the next dream, and we're going to not have another. They only affect the next slumber, and I don't think we're going to have a slumber before we're going in. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to go this way, like this. So it's going to be 2 fates and then a sanctuary. So we're going to see. I may come to regret this. I might come to regret this. Okay, here's our first fate. You may roll the luck die. We could gain a flaw or gain a random item from the item market. We are definitely going to do this because we could re-roll with our blue if we need it, and it's only 1 in 6 chance we'll gain a flaw. Probably nothing will happen, but let's go ahead and roll it. All right, so we got a 2, which gets us a random item from the item market. Now that is exciting. A random item from the item market. Okay. Let's see what item we get. A vintage car. Once per slumber, we can lose an hour to roll the luck die, which would help us end the slumber. That's not that useful to us because we skip slumbers if we want. However, I want you to notice that this item, which we just gotten, we have the ability to trade in an item for a chosen item by sealing this card. So we could turn that vintage card to our choice of item. Okay, so this fate is now done. And now we're going here and drawing another one. So this is what I was saying before about this is causing us to get a slumber map. We actually have been trying to get in here. What did the card on the fate mean when it said, what's that? Maybe I should take it. I think it's not mine. Yeah, I don't know. We have seen this card once before, but we don't know what that means. Okay, so here is the slumber tile. Now, if there is a quirk here, we might want to deliberately try to rob this shop. Let's see. Oh, now this is going to be tempting. All right, so we've been trying to get this shop for a while, and we have finally got it now. So if we had another slumber, the old shop would be in this slumber. And for 3 yellow, we could try to rob it. Or we could pay to get 5 blue gems. This is a very useful card. This is a very good shop. 5 blue gems, that's huge. Or we could try to rob it. So, according to my plan, we are not going to encounter this because we're going to just go into our dream. But now it's tempting to instead have a slumber. But let's just finish our thing. We're moving now into the sanctuary. The sanctuary lets us do these things. We can restore an item. We can unseal a card of our choice or unflip a progress card. Okay, well, we have no progress cards to unflip. So what would you rather do? Unseal a card, a chosen card, meaning we would pick the strongest card that we have sealed and unseal it. Or would we rather have a random item? Any thoughts? I mean, it seems like an item is probably worth more than a sealed card, but Jonathan wants to unseal. I mean, items can be very powerful. Unsealing a chosen card, let's let ourselves look and see what cards we want. Sealed for 3, these are not that great. That's not that great. Getaway lets us flip a progress card to be ignored for this entire dreamscape. That's pretty good. Optimization, this is the one that lets us do delta phase. I mean, we definitely want to get that unsealed soon. Sea of Fire, that's kind of a fun card. Add 3 hours. So we do have some progress cards that we would like to unseal. This is one of them. Getaway would be pretty nice too. But when are we going to have use of this? I mean, we're pretty far away from a delta phase. We're very far away from a delta phase. I don't think we want to really hold on to this for that many turns. I think I'd rather have an item just for fun. So I'm going to use it to restore a random item instead. Now, where are our items here? Okay, restore an item. Restore an item. What is the Book of Water item? I guess it is an item. Okay, it doesn't say restore a random item, but it doesn't say restore a chosen item. Normally, restore one item means random. Okay, so I'm just going to take one at random. Let's see what we've got. Strategic plan. Okay, that's a pretty great item. So I'll take it. It's great because it's 4 of this, or, oh, but it's only in slumbers. That's not so good. Okay, but it's 4. That's still pretty good. Or we could trade it in. Arguably, it would have been better to unseal our chosen card, but okay, let's not worry about it. Now, there's only one. Well, it's not true. But probably. Well, look, we don't have to have another fate. We could go to the train yard. The train yard, no effect until you find the railway wisdom card, which we have. I just want to remind ourselves, can we just do nothing? Whenever you are, you may have the dream. Okay, so we don't have to have the dream. So we can just go up through here and then end up here at our gate. So here is the question we have. The question I have for you. Should we go into our dream, or while we have this, should we have another slumber and try to rob the store? Now, there is one unfortunate part about this. Let me just see this. You must choose one. All right, so here is the only downside of trying to slumber this, which is that we will then have to leave this tile and come back to it. In other words, we might be committing to having 2 slumbers, and worse yet, we can't have more than 4 keys according to the official rules. So we are going to be wasting keys, but we could spend a key for a blue gem, but it's kind of a waste. But I guess it's not the worst thing. So, okay, do you think we should have a slumber and try to rob this store? You gotta expect it's gonna have a bad outcome, but maybe now is the time to do it. The thing is, we don't even need a slumber. Jonathan wants to rob the store. I mean, we are going to have another opportunity one day, Jonathan, when we need the key. You really want to just rob it? All right. We're going to go in here even though we don't need the key, and we're going to rob this store. Really? Are we sure we want to do this? I mean, yes, we want to rob this store, but this is not the ideal time for us. I'm going to make an executive call. I know that both of you want us to rob the store, but it's so inefficient for us, and we're going to get this again, that I'm going to override the channel's request, and we are not going to do it. It's just too much. It's not just this one. It's not just this one extra slumber. We'd have to do 2 slumbers, basically, and we don't need those keys. And I don't know who we'd have to fight in a slumber where we don't want. So I'm overriding you. We're not gonna, we will rob the store when we next get that organically, but we don't need to do it now. So instead, we are in the gate in Echo where we can do this dream. 4 keys. I'm going to spend all 4 keys to enter this dream. We can cure a distress or unseal our top card. I guess we'll take the distress. And then we will enter this dream. But let's take a break. We'll come back. You guys can let me know if you're angry that I didn't try to rob the store today. I'll see you in 8 minutes. All right, we're back. We are entering the dream happiness preserved on a piece of paper. 4 keys spent. Each dreamer cures 1 distress. Okay. 117 secret cards and tiles. All right. Okay, there's the 117 secret cards. And the 117 tiles. Okay. All 4 cards A and 5 setup tiles. Put them in the corresponding places in the order indicated by the number on their backs. Those placed later overlay those placed before, and then reveal card E. Okay. Place all 4 cards A. These don't really say A, but clearly they are A. And then 5 setup tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's very interesting. The 17 tiles are all setup tiles. So they all get set up. Wow, this is a different one. This is a very different dream. Okay, what does it want us to do now? And then the 5 setup tiles. So these come out first. Wow, this is interesting. But these are all C's. Unless I'm missing something, there is no A. They're all a little confusing. It's all 4 cards A, and then 5 setup tiles. Place them in their corresponding places in order indicated by the number on their backs. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's just try it and see what happens. C1, I would guess, goes there. Then this one goes here. This one goes here. Boy, this is weird, huh? And then this one goes there. Boy, that's weird. It says A, but those are the... I mean, the reason I'm saying those are A is because we've got B, C, D, and the A was before that. And then these come next. Surely that's not right. Surely this has to go on top of this. Right? Boy, that's unfortunate. It says place all 4 cards A and then the setup tiles. Place them in their places according to the order. Well, it does say 5. Okay. All right. So this has to go on top of this. So this thing is... All right. This is underneath this. Okay. All right. I mean, at least that's pretty clear. What a mess. What a mess these angles are. Does it really have to be designed like this? This is so crazy. But did they really have to do it so crazy with these crazy angles? I mean, there's got to be a reason for all this, I'm sure. Look how insane this is. So they're like little Polaroids. But boy, God help you if you get this wrong. C1, C2, C3, C4, B1, B2, B3, B4. All right. Well, that's crazy, but there it is. It's pretty creative. I assume we're going to be removing these because otherwise, why would there be things underneath this? All right, let's keep following the rules here. We've done that setup. Those placed later overlay those placed before. Okay, and then we reveal card E. Okay, well, here is card E. This card is active until this dream ends. Place this card on the entity slot. It's hard to sort memories. So we spawn player count times threat. So 1 in any spaces with a visible threat icon and that don't already have a threat. Each dreamer in range 1 from any human shapeshifter seals 3 cards. Then spawn a human shapeshifter in any space with a visible green frog icon and without a human shapeshifter. I guess that's supposed to be a human shapeshifter. And then the red says you suffer the number of distress equal to the number of creature shapeshifters. Then spawn a creature shapeshifter in any space with a visible creature shapeshifter icon and without a creature shapeshifter. Okay, so yellow makes us bring out a human shapeshifter and red makes us bring out creature shapeshifters. Strange, but okay. What's next? Human shapeshifter in each space with a green icon and creature shapeshifter in each space with a creature icon. And a threat in each space with a visible threat icon. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. We are going to use our images for each of these. So the greens are humans. So I'm going to use humans for that. Where is my... Let me do this for a second. All right. So greens are humans, huh? All right, we're going to use this for these. So that gets one. That gets one. I guess that's just the 2. And then we're going to bring monsters out. I guess I'll use these guys for that on the creature spaces, which are the gray ones. Okay. Remembering there can only be 4 of each. And then threat markers where there are threat. There is a thing here, but it says specifically only if this photo is fully visible. Is it fully visible? Yes, it is supposed to be like tricky. Okay. All right, I think I have set this up properly. Maybe it would be better if I switch to this view and we look at it together. So threat tokens get a threat on them. Greens get humans. 2 of those. And the browns get creatures. All right, so we've done the setup. Then we get 12 turns. And then we'll take a look at the text on these cards. Do we see any symbols here? All right, let me move this out of the way. All right, all 12 turns done. So let's just look at the map here for a second. It's like memories. It's not a regular map, but there's a lot to look at here. What about the threat that's next to the human shapeshifter on the red tile? Okay, good call. There's an additional threat there. Okay. All right, well, let's take a look and read this. Well, should we do, maybe we'll do the setup first. Let's do the setup first, then we'll try reading the text on these cards and look for any symbols. So the introduction is 912. It is said that photos do not lie. Well, actually, they do. Very often, they cut out important details, are taken out of context, and represent an unnatural moment that is too properly framed and posed. This pile of photos represents one life. Images frozen in time appear sequentially, some soothing, others disturbing or worse. We should let some of them disappear forever. Everything is mixed up, truth with lies, everything, different periods of time or places. We have some work to do here. It's time to tidy it all up and put it back in the silver box. The photographs are cruelly cut and mixed up. Each of the 9 photos is represented mainly by one card/tile, which contains the biggest part of the photograph, along with the condition only if this photo is fully visible. When performing the rearranging photos action, pick up one of these cards or tiles and place it over other cards. A photo on a card or tile is delimited by its black frame. If a space contains the slightest fragment of a photo, frame included, then it is part of that photo, and this space must be empty in order to move that card or tile to the top of the card pile. And one more thing, in this dream, some small fragments of spaces on the cards, that tiles, aren't marked as blocked spaces. The rules for block spaces are explained in the rule book, but in this case, they will be bent a little. You must decide on your own if the visible part of a space is large enough to place your dreamer. Maybe you will decide that a tiny fragment is sufficient. Oh boy. All right, let's try to understand what the hell this is saying. So, in various places on this map, I see only if this photo is fully visible, there's an action. Only if this photo is fully visible, there's an action. Only if fully visible, 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 only if fully visible. Okay, so what does that mean, only if fully visible? I see the back of this card is going to give us the rules again. Let's try this. The goal is to arrange 3 complete photos, including 2 big ones. Arrange 3 complete photos, including 2 big ones. That's how we end this scenario. So like here is a big one. Here is a big one. Here is a big one. And then here is a small one, small one, small one, small one. And here are the rules for rearranging photos. If there are no entities, dreamers, or tokens in a space in the card tile area marked by a photo frame, not card frames, you may move this card or tile to the top. So if no one is in any space in the card or tile within the photo frame, we can move it to the top. And then we can get rid of creatures, get rid of humans, discard threats. And the shapeshifters move 0. Oh boy, okay. So, what is it saying? If there are no entities, dreamers, or tokens in any space in the card tile area, you may move this card tile to the top. That mostly makes sense. The part that is badly worded, though, is it's saying you can move this card to the top. So that is confusing because if you think about what the rules seem to be saying, they seem to be saying if there's no one within this border of this picture, we can move this tile to the top. But you can see already that doesn't make sense. If there's no one in this photo frame, then we can move something to the top. But there's 1, 2, 3 cards here that comprise this photo. So is it trying to say in bad instructions that if there's no one in here, we can move any of these 3 to the top? Is that what it's trying to say? Or is it trying to say if no one's within these spaces, here we can move the card that's responsible for these spaces to the top? But probably not, because that would put it on top of this guy. So probably what those bad instructions mean to say is that, yikes, this is a mess. Probably what those bad instructions mean to say is if there's no one within the frame of a photo, then we can move any of those cards to the top. But how could we, then that would have us allowing ourselves to move this card, which there are things on. Is it trying to say that both have to be true? Like no one is here and no one is on the tile we want to move? Or is it saying that it's only talking about the card that's mostly that's confusing? Because this card is already on top. So what's the idea? Okay, this is very confusing. This is very confusing. I mean, how do we fix this photo? It's fully, okay, I see that this corner, like it looks like we could put this one on top to half complete it. And what, is this going to be gray here? Yes, okay. Boy, that is rough. That is pretty awkward. So to complete this photo, we have to put this on top and this on top. But does that mean if this is clear, we can move this on top? No. Why is it? Why can't, what? Okay, this is pretty insane, but all right, let's just try to look at it the other way. It's very creative. Let me just tell myself that. It's very creative. I'm not going to say it's terribly confusing. Instead, I'm going to say it's creative. All right, let's try to read everything again and spend the next half hour trying to understand these rules. When performing the rearranged photos, pick up one of these cards and place it over the other cards. Photographs are cruelly cut and mixed up. Each of the 9 photos is represented by one card or tile which contains the biggest part. Okay, let's just identify our 9 photos. 1, 2, 3. Ugh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we do have 9 photos. Come on, guys, this is just too much. We have 9 photos. All right. Photo is delimited by a black frame. If a space contains the slightest fragment of a photo, it is part of that photo, and it must be empty in order to move that card tile at, but you really mean English, to the top of the card pile. If a space, and space means one of these corner grids, oh, fuck me. A space means one of these quadrants. That's a space. That's a space. That's a space. That's a space. Okay, if a space contains the fragment, then it is part of that photo. The space must be empty in order to move it to the top. Okay, that's fine. So we're trying to reassemble photos, and separate from that, we have this. Arrange 3 complete photos, including 2 of them must be big. All right, well, it's clear that the rearrange action just has us pick a card and move it to the top. And now the hard part is understanding what has to be empty. No entities, dreamers, or tokens in any space in the card tile area marked by a photo frame. You may move this card. All right, so the way we're going to make sense of these rules is we're going to say, we're going to look at a photo frame. I know it must seem like this is ridiculous that I'm still trying to chew on these rules, but let me explain why this is confusing. It would be very natural to say you can't move a tile when there's a creature blocking it. So obviously we couldn't bring this lower tile card on top here while this guy is blocking the space. But now if this guy were here, he's blocking these spaces, but presumably he's not blocking this space. All right, so that's how we're going to rule it. We're just going to rule it and say if the creatures or tokens would be disturbed by moving a card, and would block moving the card, then that's going to count as blocking. But I still find that rule very confusing, because if this guy is here, do these rules as read let us move this card on top? Like if that wasn't here and this wasn't here, and this was here, can we move this card up even though these guys are on this tile that we're putting on top? This says if there are no entities, dream, or tokens in any space in the card. Okay, so I guess we pick a card or tile we want to move, and then we just check if they're on the space of that tile that we're moving. Okay. All right, maybe it's doable. If there are no entities or tokens in any of the visible spaces of a photo, we can move the tile with that photo. I think that's right. Two must be, we have to do complete 3, but 2 of them must be big. Yes, we have to complete 3, 2 of which must be big. All right, and then let's just look at the rest of this. It's very cheap to move it, but it's hard to clear it. We can assault to clear a creature, assault a contact to clear a human, and assault to clear a threat. And no one moves. Okay. And we have 12 turns. And no one's going to morph, but it's going to keep spawning humans. Spawn one human or spawn a creature. Look at this last thing, though. It's not within range. You suffer distress equal to the number of creatures. So you got to make sure there's no creatures ever out anywhere. Okay, the good news is that for creatures, we've got a very good distance attack, so we're in good shape there. All right, let me flip this turn card over. It is going to trigger the creatures. Wow, you could get a lot of distress in this mission. Oh my God, look at this. Do you see what this ability is? Dreamer unseals all of their cards. So this photo here, if it's fully visible, we can unseal all of our cards. That's amazing. If this card is fully visible, we get card C. If this card is fully visible, we can gain an ether. I don't think I care that much about this one. I'm much more interested in this one. This one, we cure a distress, no big deal. This one, we get card B. So get card B, unseal all cards, get card C. Those are all very intriguing to me. But notice you can't do both. That's a key insight, right? Like anything that's adjacent is exclusive. Like if you want to do this full card, you can't do this full card. If you want to do this full card, you can't do this one or this one. This one says if it's fully visible, we gain a gem. Fully visible, we get to unseal a card. So if we wanted the most exciting things, we could try to get card C and card B by flipping both of these. But that won't quite work, will it? I guess it will. I guess this can come on top. All right, let's look at the words here before we continue, because there's some words on these cards. Up here we have "it never happened," and I'm not sure what we've got. Here it says what? Wheat wise. Here it says, "oh yes, happy days." On this one, it says what? Sad but true. This one says, hard work, always hard work. This one says, first things first. What about this one? The green is confusing it, but it basically says a long time ago. Doesn't seem like we have to do them in order though, but maybe happy days would be a good card to get out. I mean, I do want to unseal all our cards. That would be huge. I suppose we could get card C and then change, like we could get this card fully flipped, get it, and then unflip it, right? So if we brought, I'm sorry that I'm spending too much time, so much time on this. Too much time, I don't know is the right word. So if we move this card up to the top, it would finish blue. So one card moved to the top, and it's only, let's see, I guess we'd have to get rid of that too. Get rid of this, and then we could bring this up. Here is another confusing rule. Like, look at this. If this is here, like this tells us this is in this space, so this is here. It looks like we should be able, if we didn't have this guy, that this could go on top. But this is in this whole space, which intrudes on this corner, even though where it is doesn't seem to be blocking it. But that seems like it would violate in any space in the card area. If a space contains the slightest fragment, then it is part of that photo and this space must be empty. Yeah, okay. So even though this thing doesn't look like it's on top of this tile, it should be considered on top of this tile. Same thing with this one, should be considered on top of this whole space. This should be considered on here. And this is also considered blocking this and this. What a mess. All right, but it's pretty neat. It reminds me of a well-respected cooperative game that I can't remember the name of. Does anyone remember the name of this card game where it's two players play cooperatively? It's a Japanese design, and you lay cards in a dream on top of each other. It's actually almost a little bit reminiscent of this. I can't remember what it's called. Okay, someone has come in to give us a nice little comment. I love your reviews. That's very nice. All right, so I am inclined to... Well, okay, the things that's most dangerous to us are the creature shapeshifters. Because when red triggers, we lose distress however many creatures are out. So when this turn comes, right now we would get 2 distress. So we've got to get rid of these people. All right, let's bring ourselves out. Where do we start? Here, I guess. The nice thing is we've got a shotgun and very long arms, which gives us an increased range of 3 and a normal assault range of 3. So actually we've got a range of 6 with our shotgun. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can actually shoot both of these right from here without even moving. So probably we should clear as many of these as fast as we can as our first action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so we have one card to draw. Look what it is, unfortunately, a flaw. All right, so let's take a look at this flaw. We're starting our first turn. So we can get rid of it with an ether right now, which I'd be inclined to do. But actually, I think we should throw away our car item because it's only useful in slumbers. So let's keep this flaw. Let's get rid of the vintage car, which is only useful in slumbers. And let's instead draw a new item. We've got a balloon, which is also only usable in the dream world, so not very useful to us for now. Okay, so I want to kill everyone here. Unfortunately, the humans have to be contacted, and they are going to trigger. If we're in range 1, we would seal 3 cards. And then a new one is going to come out. But there's no place to put a new one. If we kill one, it gets put. So we should shoot both of these creatures and then stay away from the humans. It's not that hard to move. Not that hard to move these tiles. An assault 1. It's unfortunate that assault 2, that's not so bad. All right, so let's try to kill these guys. It'd be nice to get that ability that affects all entities. All right, well, boy, we're going to use all these shotgun blasts pretty quick, aren't we? I'm just trying to make a game plan. All right, let me look at the chat. Let's see what Jonathan was suggesting. Do we see any symbols, by the way? It kind of looks like this might be part of this, doesn't it? Ugh. It kind of looks like this might be part of this somewhere. Like, is it? Not quite. All right. So here's what I want to do, and then I'm going to look at what Jonathan was suggesting. I'd like to get these B and C cards revealed. So it seems like the easiest thing to do might be to clear this thing and bring this up to the top. You can see how we could actually also benefit by covering up this. Like bringing this to the top covers this, so these creatures won't come out. We need two big ones. One small one, though. You can see there are also other abilities. Unsealing all of our cards, eventually we'll want to do that. Are cards B and C cards we can peek at? That's a very good point. Cards B and C absolutely are cards we can peek at, and I think that's a great idea, Jonathan. That is a terrific idea. Let's go do that. So peeking is discard a card to take a 5-second look. So what we're going to do is, before we go to the trouble of trying to get access to B and C, let's peek at these cards. I think that's a great idea. Okay, so what cards do we not care about? I think, well, we need to be able to move. We're not going to put this out, I don't think. So I'm going to spend this card to peek at C, which is the one I'm more inclined to do. Okay, let's see what we could get. We could get Safety Zone. You play it, spend a gem, prevent all distress you would suffer from an entity, then roll the luck die. So you might have to seal it. And it's 2 green. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. It's not amazing, but it's okay. So that is C. Do we want to pay for the next one? I think we do. So there is water. So we could use this to get an item. Ignore the current entity effect against your dreamer. That would be pretty good, but only in darkness. Okay, that's all right. Draw 2 cards. Hurry, hurry. We could end up using that. Um, I'm going to go ahead and... Well, it's movement twice. Actually, we don't need this. We could use the movement. But okay, I'm going to go ahead and use this so we can peek at this card B. I want to see what these cards are. They'll help us make our plan. So here's B that we could get. The tank with no bottom. Whoa, look how interesting this is. You can only use it in water. If it's X, you resolve 399, which is surely something bad. X is almost always bad. If it's a 1, 2, or 3, you would draw cards. That's fun, but I'm not sure it's game breaking, but both of those cards are fun. All right, let me now do the things that I know I have to do, and then we'll figure out what else we're going to do. I'm going to fire 3 shots. Sorry, 2 shots. And kill these 2 things. It does 3 assault each. And because of our everything, they're within range 6. So that would take both of these off the map. Unfortunately, we're going to run out of shots pretty soon. So if we wanted to get card C, which was just okay, B seemed a little bit more fun, then we could flip this card over. That would get us access. We could flip this card over. That would get us access to this. If we wanted card B, what would we have to do? We'd have to flip this card and this card. However, it looks like flipping this card and this card might very well stop bringing out these creatures. It's hard to know without looking at it, though. That is a fun card. Tank with no bottom looks interesting. If we could get tank with no bottom without too much trouble, probably worth picking it up. Well, let's try it. We'd have to clear these 2. We'd have to clear these 3 in order to flip this card. If we could do that this turn, though, it would mean one less creature, although the creature would still come out here. But we have to get rid of these. And because of this weird rule, would we have to get rid of this to flip this tile? That is so bizarre. Would this mean we have to get rid of this? Because this is on this corner of this tile. I think it would. So we're not going to be able to split it this turn. But we could bring this to the top. But we don't want to bring this to the top. If we bring this to the top, it's on top of this. We actually need this one to come to the top to build this picture. This is tricky. All right, let's have a goal. Let's go for this. Let me start doing that. So it just takes one assault to get rid of these. And how did the humans hurt us? Range 1, we would seal 3 cards. So we just don't want that. But the actual threats don't hurt us. So it's more important for us to kill the humans, but as long as we don't go near them, they don't hurt us. And the humans have to be contacted? Yes. All right, let us move. We don't need to poison them. All right, I'm going to... This is surprisingly analysis paralysis here. Might make more sense to just prioritize unsealing all the cards. Well, you got a point there. You do have a point. There's a lot we'd have to flip to do that, though. We'd have to flip this one, and this one, I guess. But it would be a good time to do it. All right. The threat is not hurting us, so let's get rid of this guy. But if we just get rid of this guy, he's gonna spawn right off on the next turn. Unless, and this is gonna spawn a new monster. It's just paralyzing. I wonder if we should go into lucid mode for this. The weird thing is, as much as we get rid of these, they're gonna keep coming out. And we have to always be killing the creatures, though. All right, let's just start making some moves. I'm going to spend hurry to move. What are we going to try to do? I'm going to try to unseal all our cards. So to do that, I need to flip this card and then this card and this card. And then if this is going to be one of our big ones, And we're going to flip this and this. This could be our other one. Or this could be our other one. All right, well, I've moved to. Let's go here. And now I want to clear the spaces so that I could flip this card. To do that, I'm going to have to get rid of all of these, but also this. So it's probably better for me to go here. And I want to save the shotgun for getting rid of creatures at distance. So I'm just going to try to contact the human, which we're going to be 2 green to get rid of this human. Unfortunately, he's going to come right back out unless I can get all of these cleared in time before he comes out. So this is really quite interesting, actually. There is no point getting rid of this human until I can flip this card, because when the yellow triggers, it's going to add 1 human. So I can either get rid of both of them and have it spawn here, or I might as well leave this. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to leave him for now. And I'm instead going to try to get rid of these. Unfortunately, I don't have enough red for that. Boy, this is tricky. Okay, so I was here. I moved 2. I'm going to take this move. Both of these, which was my move in contact. So we're not going to contact him. Instead, we're just going to try to clear threat, since no threat is getting reborn. So let's get rid of these 3 threats that we're going to need. So I'm going to spend 1 to get rid of this threat. Then I'm going to spend 2 move to come here. No, I don't need to do that. There's no point. As long as I've got room for a full hand. Let's just leave it on this way. As long as I've got room for a full hand, I might as well stop here. In fact, I'm going to undo killing of 1 of these creatures. Oh no, because I don't want to get hit by it. I always have to be killing creatures. All right. Did I undo it? No, there it is. Okay. As long as I can draw up a full hand. We might have to go into lucidity. But then Jonathan is saying it would be very wasteful if we did. Okay, well let's get going here. Basic effect. If you're within one range of a human, we would seal 3 cards, and now we are spawning a human on a space with a green, but there is no space left. We really were supposed to spawn them all, right? Yes. Spawn 1 human in a space without a human. Okay, so the humans are filled, so nothing happens there. Now, the red triggers. The red says we take a distress for however many creatures are out, and then we add a creature. So there are no creatures out. We are going to add a creature. We don't really care where he is because we've got range to him with the shotgun. I might as well put him here in case I can clear this on 1 turn. And then we would roll, but none of them move. That's how I read the rule of these creatures. Where was that rule? All shapeshifters have 0 movement. All right. Boy, this is a brain burner. All right, so now, this is terrible. This would put all the threats out. Oh no, just one. Just one. One new threat comes out. So what we would love to do is get this card flipped on this turn. Or else clear it so it doesn't come out. Boy, okay. I don't blame you if you want to drop out of this stream, by the way. I have no... You won't catch any flack from me. Okay, so we've got a whole bunch of one reds. That's good. And we're maxed out hand size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, fine. All right, let's try to get this card flipped if we can, huh? So we're going to clear this threat, this human, and then we're going to flip this card this turn. We're going to make that happen. So I think we're going to use this to move 2. 1, 2. And then we are going to... Well, I'd love to... No, we don't care about that. Okay, I'm going to use this to get rid of this threat. Then I need to contact this human to get them off there. That's 2 green. I think we're going to need to maximize our turns. So there's our 2 green with this card to get rid of this human. Now we're going to have to get rid of this threat and get off this card's space so that we can flip this card. And we're hoping when we do, it's going to be 1 less human coming out. But I'm going to have to flip this card and then also get off this space, which is a little bit weird. And I think now is the time to... Okay, so we're going to seal this card to generate 3 movement. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to spend 1 red to get rid of this. All right, now we can now flip any of these cards. Any of these 4 cards here. Our plan was to flip this one so that this card is almost revealed so that we can unseal our cards. However, if we flip this card right now, we will have completed this red card. But I suppose unsealing is more valuable to us. It also has the advantage of getting rid of this human. So probably this is the one we want to flip. Let's go ahead and do it. That was our plan. This is already built? Is that right? This small card is already built? Or was this underneath this, like this? No, then that one would be built. Okay, so here's our small card already built. So we just leave this one face fully built. And this could be our small one. And this could be a big one. I guess this and this can't. Can it? Can these both be built? This has to come on top. Probably this one has to come on top to do this one. So these two can't coexist, I don't think. Or maybe they can. Maybe this. This is going to be both of these. Yeah, these two can't both coexist. So we're going to have this one and this one, perhaps. And if we're going to have this one and this one, I think this might have to be our small one. I wonder if I shouldn't flip this, then flip this. This will be our small one. I think that's the way to go. So I think I'm going to use this card here. Where's the card that lets us draw 2 cards? Any dreamer may draw 2 cards. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw this out to draw 2 cards. And then I'm going to spend this card to flip this one. Wait, that doesn't work. No, that's not what I want to do. I want to move off this card. And then flip this one. So if I flip this card, boy, this is a mess. So we have to flip this, then this, then this to get this card up. Okay. So now I'm going to move to... We can flip cards without being anywhere, so we can actually be anywhere when we flip. So I think the next thing to do is to flip this one and then this one. Okay, so I'm going to keep flipping these cards. I'm not going to worry about this small one for now. I'm going to spend this green to flip this card. Well, this is some real spatial mind effing. So I had to do that in order to get this orange triangle here. And then I flip this one, right? But why don't we do that in the other order? Why don't we flip that one and then consider that? Oh, I see. That's why. Okay. But now when we flip this one, it's going to undo. It's going to undo this. I gotta say, the fact that none of this can be undone without causing lasting damage is pretty painful. I'm a little confused how this even happens. Is it that it can't even be done? All right, I know this is painful. I know this is painful, but I just have to not worry about it being painful. All right, let me look at this card. Is there any way to finish this card? I wonder if this is a trap. Unfortunately, it's like in order for me to try this, how does it work? I don't think it can be done. I know you can't visualize this, but there is no way to finish this picture. This picture cannot be finished. Is that clear to you? Can you see? Jonathan says, I think there must be a way to do it. I don't think there would be traps. Well, I get you. I get you, but it's not a matter of we're probably misunderstanding some rule, but I would think that's very possible. But I think of it the other way. Forget rules. I'm gonna break stuff now. Maybe we can try to remember. All right, this is really not most pleasant experience here, but I'm going to, we've got this on the bottom, and then in the middle we have this one, and then on the top we have this one. Okay, this is not really helping much, but B3 is on the bottom, then comes C2, and then B2. Okay, so here's my point. There is no way to get a fully red area here on this half, because I'm going to start moving these around, and I think we'll see that if this is on top of this, you can't, it blocks this yellow. So this must be on top of this card. But look at this one. If this is on top of this, it blocks this corner. But it must be on top of this. So this card must be on top of this card. And this card must be on top of this card. Because of that, there is no way to get all of this orange. There is just no way to lay these three cards. There is no order. There's no physical way without ripping these cards to get this orange full. It's just not possible. So I think it is a trap. Can you overlay parts of cards? It can't be done. It can't be done. There's no way to assemble this. So I think this is a trick. What does this thing say here? Sometimes everything is possible. That seems like a bit of a trick statement. I mean, unless there are some cards here, there is a wisdom and an F card, but how would we get that? How would we get this wisdom and F? I mean, we've already looked at B and C. Let me see if I can see if other cards could be done. Okay, so the red card can be made full. If we bring this on top and this flipped, then the red card, the red photo, could be made full. And we can make we can also make the we can make the gray card and the red card full. Can we make the gray card and the red card full right now and be done with this? We pull this on top. That makes the red on top, this on top, and then this on top, and we should have them done. Fold the top corner of the B3 over B2. You want me to fold the card? You want me to fold the card? Is that what you're saying, Jonathan? You want to peek at the F card? Oh, you think this is a card that goes somewhere? The F card is a silver key, Jonathan. And the wisdom is something else, though. I'm going to see if I can't get right now 3 cards. I believe I can. And then we'll be done with this. Although, to do this one, I think it wants me to get rid of this threat. But let's just see here for a second. So let's just try to see what happens. If I use this card to what do I want to do? I want to move off. I want to move this one to the top. Oh, that puts another monster out. Okay. So I spent a card to do that, let's say. I don't know if I already spent that or not. And now I'm going to move to, I suppose I will use a gem to do that. I'm going to go 1, 2. And then I'm going to spend a card to move this one here. And now I want you to notice that the gray card is built. I could have done this in a different order. So we moved these cards. I moved a whole bunch of cards that I shouldn't have. Do you think that to get the F card, we need to find an action that is currently being covered up? I really don't know. It doesn't look like it. I feel like I've done a bunch of actions here that I didn't have to do. Is this all red? No, it's not. What is going on with this game? Oh, we don't care about that. We just need that red. Okay, let me just I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of cheating. All right, maybe we won't. I know what we do. I know what to do. I know what to do. Okay, let's take a little break. We'll take our 8-minute break. We'll come back and we'll go into lucid mode. It'll fill up our full hand and we'll be able to do a whole bunch of actions. I think that's the thing to do. All right, let's take a break. So this is a very weird dream here. It seems quite confusing. It seems to me like there are only certain ones possible. I don't know what is going on, but I think I have a way to rush it. And the sooner we can complete it, the better, because it's going to keep getting worse. I feel like I did some very inefficient movements out here that if I hadn't, we'd be able to easily do this. But rather than try to undo it, I think I can still pull it off in lucid mode. So I'm going to try to use up these cards, enter lucid mode, which will fill our hand, and then I think we can do it. So what we're going to do is, this is only because of all the inefficient moving. If we didn't do any of the inefficient moving, I'd have a whole bunch of more movement cards here. But all right, let's not worry about it. I'm going to use 2 shotgun blasts from here. Let's stay on this view. From here to kill these 2. Way overkill, but I need to get these people... I need to actually get this guy cleared. Maybe I don't need to just use 1 for this. So I need to shoot this guy here so that I can use up these cards. So I'm going to use this card now. Now that this space is clear, I can use this card to bring this on top. Now we have completed the large red, and we have completed the large gray. Now we just have to complete one small one. Now I believe that we cannot complete the large blue. I believe that it's another trick. There is no way to keep this blue and get this blue, because this card has blue here. Well, I suppose the blue could go on top, and then this could go. Maybe that does work. Okay, so the blue could go on top, and then this could go on top. That gets us blue. That's the one that's the only one that's possible. I'm not sure gray is possible. Gray. Okay, maybe the gray and the blue are both possible. We would get gray by bringing this on top, and then we'd have to bring everything else on top. I think to get blue, we flip the blue up, and then we'd have to put this on top, and then this on top, and I think we'd have blue. So I think blue is easier. To get gray, well, gray would just be gray, and then this on top, and then this on top. So I guess both of them are 3. If we had a choice, I guess we'd want the blue, because we'd rather have that C. And is it true there's no way to get the green picture? I believe the green picture is a trap, because this has a sliver of the green. For it to be on top, it'd be covering that. Okay, so I think this is a puzzle where there's only a couple things possible. So the trick now is to do this without this all going to hell. So I want to use this card. I'm going to use this card to move. I'm going to eventually have to get close enough to contact this guy. So I could just walk over, or I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, relocate. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I'm just going to go ahead and walk over here. These aren't quite lined up, but they're close enough. So I'm just going to use this to move one space. In fact, I'd rather move there. All right. All right, let's try it now. So blue triggers, which says all these threats come back. A threat goes here, a threat goes here, a threat goes here. Now they move, but they don't move. And now the yellow effect goes, which is if we're within one range of a human, we would seal 3 cards, and then we spawn a human in one of the green spaces of our choice. We are going to put it here because we don't need to mess with these cards. That turn is done. Oh, but my whole point was to not do that, wasn't it? Well, I suppose this just gives me more turns and just one more thing to take care of. So, sure, let's let that trigger. Okay, here's our next turn. So on the next turn, we would put more of the threat tokens, and then the creatures will harm us, and a new creature will come out. And we draw 4 cards. Okay, I forgot I was going to go into lucid mode, but I'll do that at the end of this turn. So we'll be able to get this done on this turn once I go lucid. Oh, a steam bomb. I wouldn't mind triggering that. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to go and make this blue card whole by flipping this and then flipping this. I think that should do it. So 2 cards to flip, but we've got to clear these 3 things first. And we have to clear them via assaults and a contact. And we want to not be on those spaces. The contact, we don't have any green, but we'll do it when we're lucid. And we could shotgun these people if we wanted to. Okay, well, let's do this to move to 1, 2. The tricky thing is to contact this guy. All right, well, probably we're going to have to go into lucid, but let's just do this the easy way. Let's use this card. All entities in range. Well, I like to hold on to that card. All right, we don't need the steam bomb for now. I'm going to use this card to move one space just so that I'm within range of this guy. Then I'm going to use this to stand in for the 2 green contact to get rid of this human. And then I'm going to use this card to get rid of this threat. And I'm going to use this shotgun blast to get rid of this guy. And then I'm going to move 2 away so that I can flip these cards. 1, 2. Now, if I had cards I could avoid going into lucid mode. Let's see. I just need 2 points to flip these cards if I'm right. Let me see if I can survive one more turn if I can avoid going lucid. So the morphing would bring out a threat here. And that's it. And then the red would make us suffer for creatures and make us bring out a creature. 1 creature, which could go here. So I think I can actually pull this off by taking another turn without going lucid. So let's do it. Let's stop our turn here. And now do this. So morphing comes. It does bring this here. So there would have been no reason for me to get rid of it. So I'm going to take a card back that I spent to get rid of that token, because there was no point. Then red goes. We would take wounds from creatures. There are no creatures. So now we spawn a creature. 1 creature, we can choose where. So we're going to put it here. And then they roll, which they don't do anything. Okay, here's our next turn. We don't care because we're not going to let it go that far. And now we're taking 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I think what we'll do is we just need to flip with green and red 2 cards. We just have to get rid of this first. I could shotgun it, or I could move and do it. I guess if I move and then assault it, move 2, assault it for 1. Just trying to do this without using up the shotgun. And then we're just going to spend a red to move this card to the top. Let's see if I mess this up in any way. And then I'm going to use this card to bring this up here like this. And now we have, if I'm not mistaken, we have 1, 2, 3. 2 large, 1 small. So I believe, against all odds, we have completed 3 photos, including 2 big ones. In fact, let us spend, I think I spent this here. Let's do that. And then before we complete it, Let's walk and spend 3 green to get card C, which is not really the card we wanted, but at least it's something. All right. We have now completed our goal. Thank you. Good job. Boy, that was craziness. I'm curious to read about this mission. But we have accomplished it. Now, we can survive more. We could go into lucid mode and take many more turns here if we thought there was any value to it. So we've done the thing that we could do if blue was complete. If red is complete, we could cure. We don't have anything to cure. And if gray is complete, we could gain a blue gem for green. Okay, so that's it. We're done here. Okay, so we were breaking the rules a little bit because it says you may in range, and I did some of this while not in range, but we did move around a little inefficiently, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then let's just do, we're not out of turns, but when we managed to do this 980, okay, this was pretty crazy. Okay, this was pretty insane and not altogether pleasant. But let's see. You may end this dream immediately. You may also keep playing to try to activate more actions of the stream. While you fulfill the condition of the goal, you may go back to the script whenever you want, while you fulfill this mission of the goal. So in other words, you could try to flip over better set of cards, but you can't, you still have to get the complete, you still have to have 3 face up, so it's not like we can do extra stuff. So there's no point. Okay, here we go, 249. Finally, the scenes are arranged correctly. Here is that magical moment when we first met on a busy street a long time ago, right beside an unwanted, repressed memory that I don't even want to look at. And in the end, which memory is more important? Well, maybe they're all equally important. Each of them created and shaped us. There's no need to return to them right now, but it's comforting to know that all will remain forever in our silver box. You gain card F, the 5th silver key. Take a look at card D, House of Cards Wisdom. You may gain it, but then one dreamer has to return 1 random influence card to the influence market. If no dreamer decides to do this, remove this wisdom card. Is someone... All right, well, we can look at it later. Let's do the steps here. We gain card F. So we got our 5th of 6 keys. And we can read something if we wanted to. Did our other silver key say we could read something? Our other silver key did say you could read something, but it was a different number. So we probably want to read this. We know there are 6 silver keys. All right, take a look at card D. What is this wisdom card, and do we want to gain it? At any moment, a player may use cards from their discard to build a house of cards on the table. Place all your distress on the structure. Adds any distress they suffer on this house of cards. ignoring their limits as long as the house stands. The dreamer only dies if their house of cards collapses. I mean, this sounds like you could pretty safely suffer an arbitrary amount of distress. But as Jonathan points out, this is not something that appeals to me. And then we would die immediately. Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. I mean, I suppose actually it's just one random influence card we would lose. So like we could have it. We don't have to actually use it. But it's not suitable for this thing, but it would allow us to survive. I mean, if we had like 7 distress, it could be our emergency. I just don't even know how we would go about it, though. But is it worth getting rid of it's only one random influence card. Seems like it's probably worth it for an emergency, but I really don't want to do it. I can't imagine doing that, but I guess in an emergency, I just don't know. It's a pretty funny idea, though. What would we do? What if we lost one of our favorite influence cards? I mean, we can always get it again back into the market. Should we do it for an emergency? Like you could imagine if we had like 7 distress when we were about to die, we could trigger this. Seems like it is worth it for an emergency. Okay, I guess I'm going to choose from our discard deck because it's so large. I'm going to not look. I'm just going to randomly take a card and hope it's not one of our favorites. Okay. Got the deck. This is the one we're getting rid of. That is a great card. Boy, that hurts to get rid of that, to lose that card. Draw to our hand limit is an amazing card. Okay, well, it's gone. What can we do? What can we do? I regret it. I regret my action now. I do. I'll just put it on the top of the influence market so the next time we go shopping, we can buy it. All right. Well, that was one of my favorite cards. That's very sad that we lost that, but all right. That's just how the cookie crumbles. Continuing, we get 1 measly ether. Cure 1 or unseal 1. All right, well, we're just going to unseal 1 because we have none to cure. And we've unsealed that. That can go into our discard. Shopping cards we already had. This Screamscape goes away. All the influence cards we didn't earn, like the tank with no bottom, goes into the market. The influence market. And then these go away. All right. Well, I cannot say that that was one of my favorites. I would say that was definitely not one of my favorites. And it was fitting that we lost one of my favorite cards. Let's read the 5th silver key entry. I should never have taken that card, but it made sense. The odds were with us. Synthetic Archives GAP 3077/05, Lost in a Lost World. We've lost control. Reality has fallen apart. We've turned it into countless separate dreams. There's nothing else beyond them. No one can predict how long such a state could last, hundreds or thousands of years, because time has been diminished to just another insignificant dimension. And yet, within each shard of reality exist smaller groups of consciousness, inhabitants who try to recreate what was once our lost world with incomplete memories, fragment by fragment, details being rebuilt, limited by their own powers of creation. And on top of this, they must defend themselves against interlopers who could destroy their noble efforts, absorbing them into their own dreams. Now, groups of scientists trapped in the bubbles of artificial worlds are trying to find a way to restore the common world through the search for an essential missing element. If we find it, we'll finally be able to restore our forgotten real world, step by step, expanding its borders and nullifying the chaotic powers that exist outside. And maybe, just maybe, one day we'll really be home again. Where to start our search? Let's start with the most powerful, distinct dream worlds that can trap and transform newcomers. They contain a secret of the lost stability. It's a risky mission because by joining someone's dream, you inevitably become part of it. You can easily lose your existing memories, knowledge, and turn into just another puppet subject to the will of the ruler of such a world. However, we have our own methods and technology that can help us, and we have nothing to lose. So the silver keys are filling out our story here. It's like we are the scientists trying to rebuild our world by jumping into these little artificial bubble dreams. Passage reminds me of the book The Hole in the Zero by M.K. Joseph, The Hole in the Zero. I don't know what that is, but I do know that we have 2 of our 6 keys, so we are officially past the 1/3 mark. Well past, I would guess. All right, let's get our turn back. Let's add this to our other silver key. That was a pretty costly dream. Now let's take a look at these cards here. I mean, what did you think of that mission, Jonathan? That seemed like of all the missions, that must have been the most painful to watch just because of how much I struggled with the concept. But I think the problem was it didn't seem like it was solvable for most of these cards. So let us look here. I want to see, for example, could this picture be built? Could the green picture be built? Okay. I don't see any way, unless, are we saying like this? There is no way. There is no way to build the green picture. It cannot be done. Does everyone see that these are exclusive? Either this part of the picture is visible and this isn't, or this is visible and this isn't. There is no... There is no way to do it because of this corner piece and this piece. These two pieces are mutually exclusive. Even if you thought, hey, this is a weird, cool thing where we could cut it, it wouldn't work because the rules don't let you to interleave a piece. It only says you can move a piece on to the very top. So I think Jonathan sums up my view of this idea exactly. I really don't care for that. I really don't care for that either. I really don't care for that either. And so we already proved you couldn't do that with that piece, and the orange was the same situation. We could build the red, but the orange cards had exactly the same situation where either it was going to be like this or like this. There was no way to get both of these orange. So it seems like the puzzle in this game was to figure out which pictures could be assembled, which is fine as a puzzle. The problem is that the game, that it seemed to us with the crazy rules that maybe we could have done this one. Why is that? How is that? Oh yeah, the red we did. So anyway, we did the red, and the red is possible. The orange isn't possible. So in terms of puzzle, that's okay. The problem was that the game seemed to give us no hint that there was only one solution, and seemed to be leaning heavily on the idea that we had choices and we could have made them all. Especially with this thing about like you could unseal all the cards, really made it seem like there must be some way to do it. And then one of the words said anything is possible. So it felt like the game was telling us we could achieve it, and then giving us rules that were confusing enough that we felt like, are we doing something wrong? And the real capper, which made it unpleasant, was that if you were doing an escape room like this, right? If you were just given these pieces and you were told, okay, assemble them so that two pictures of your choice are completed, that wouldn't be so painful because you'd just sit there, you'd say, okay, this goes here, this goes here, and then you'd say, okay, this one doesn't work. But the problem was with this is that the game is very careful about saying, like, arrange it in this starting configuration, then put all these things on top, and now do it. So you can't experiment, and you can't undo and remember where you were. So that's, in order to figure out that it doesn't work, you have to go through these motions. I don't like that the actions you could set as your goal and then find out you just wasted your time. Even the ending paragraph almost hinted that we could go out and get other configurations. Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like a cruel trick. A very cruel trick. I'd like to see some forum posts about this. And why did Ghost Drive try to make us do this painful puzzle? Why was Ghost Drive so thinking that we would enjoy this one? He said we were going to get something good. I think maybe he meant the House of Cards was what he thought we would enjoy. Happiness preserved on a piece of paper. Oh, a silver key. Yeah, sorry. For the silver key is worth it. Okay, that's good. That's true. The silver key. I'm curious. Well, I'm curious to see what the forum Etherfields people say about this puzzle, but maybe that's something best done offline and discussed in the Discord. Where would you rank this one, Jonathan? It did look cool. Yes, it did look cool, and it was a completely different thing. I mean, we did manage to do it without going into Lucid, which was nice. Altogether, though, I'm not sure. It's probably was better than a slumber, but not one of my favorites, although I'm thrilled to get another silver key. Jonathan says bottom 1/3. Okay, I can agree with that. Bottom 1/3. Bottom 1/3. Did this tell us to pop out of Secret Season of Secret Paths? It doesn't seem like it's telling us to go to the normal season, so it seems like we're still in our Season of Secret Paths. I don't know about that dream. No, they can't all be winners. They can't all be winners. All game cards as well as the dream. All right, we got our second silver key. That should be that is pleasant. That is happy. And we saw all the cards, so I don't know how to explain that. It was a trick. All right, but I mean, all credit to us. We did realize the trick and didn't get too captured by it, didn't get too messed up by it. We used 4 blasts from our shotgun. We got no distress, though. All right, Jonathan, thank you for the company and the help. And at this point, it's also company to keep one from despairing, and I appreciate it. I'll see you next time.